I'm going to tell people to sit down. Good evening. Nope. Hi, good evening. I'm your moderator, and I would like everyone to start finding a place to sit down, please, and we'll get this going. Yeah, that's probably safer. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Mark Nozell. I'm the moderator for this evening. We have a number of things to go through, but first, if you would like to join me to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, liberty, justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order now. There you go, it's official. Just a reminder that registered voters should have checked in at this point, and you should have received 3 pieces of paper, a blue one for the voting process, and then another one for the actual balloting. It's actually 2 pieces of paper. If you don't have it, you can just walk over at any time and check in. I'm going to go through an introduction, and after this, I'll ask the chairman of the board to introduce everyone else at the table. But there's a number of things that we need to go through. At the end of this, I'll open up the ballot. You do have the choice of putting your vote in the ballot back there with Nate. But I would suggest that you wait until we have voted on Article 2, because that'll have an impact on the vote for the treasurer. Again, it's up to you, but I would recommend you wait. For each of the articles, I will be reading through them and then look for someone to make the motion. We'll also have a second, and at that point, we'll have a discussion. While we're doing the discussion, you come up here, wait to be recognized. If there is no discussion on a particular article, then I will close the discussion period, and then we'll move into the voting period. If you do want to discuss an article, come up to the microphone over there, please, and raise your blue card. And when recognized, state your name for the record so we know who you are. At that point, we can have a discussion. You can have comments on the article, or if you want, you can have a floor amendment. If the amendment is relatively short, adding something slight, a slight change to the number, I can take care of that up here. If it's a longer amendment, then you should write this on a piece of paper. We'll help you out with that. Give that to me so I can read it into the official record. At that point, somebody is going to have to second your motion. If there's no second, then your motion doesn't move on, or your amendment does not move on. If you do have a second, then we'll vote on the amendment, and until we're done with the discussion or all the amendments. At that point, then we will vote on the article itself. The way we do that is I'm going to say, all those in favor, everyone out there that has the blue card, hold it up. I'll take a look, and then I'll say, all those opposed, similar type of thing. If it's a close vote, I may ask you to do that a second time so I can do an individual count. One other thing, the ballot boxes in the back there, by statute, need to be open for 2 hours to allow people that may have requested absentee ballots to show up and cast their vote. So in a moment, I'll open up the voting box and note the time. At the end of that 2-hour period, we'll close the voting box, and then myself, my assistants, will start doing the counting. At the end of that, we'll double check the values, and then we'll announce the vote results. And then we can adjourn. I'll need a motion, of course. A couple reminders for the meeting, just to make this run a little bit quicker. Please be polite to people. I'm sure everyone will be nice and polite to each other. Please be respectful for other people's views, especially if you have something that, everyone has their own views. Please be polite about that. Also, please keep the comments on topic. Right? Please no random statements or anything. Really keep it focused on what the article is about. Also, please only speak when I recognize you at the podium. And then finally, if everyone can put their phone on vibrate, turn them off, that would be much appreciated. I'll do that now. And if you do really need to take a phone call, we ask that you step outside for the moment. Thank you. Are there any questions about the balloting process? Seeing none. At this point, I would like to open up the balloting. If you choose, if you can, go around, keep yourself socially distanced, and put it in the big box at the back. And the 2-hour clock starts now. The ballot will be open until 9:10. I would like to recognize Don Provencher, the chair of the Merrimack Village District Board of Commissioners, to introduce the rest of the table.
Thank you, Mark. Good job. I know this is your first venture, so thanks for being here. My name is Don Provencher. I'm the chair of the Merrimack Village District Board of Commissioners. To my left is Commissioner Ken Ayers. To my right is Vice Chair Wolf Von Schaun. And to his right is Paul McLaughlin. And John Lyons is excused from this meeting tonight. He's our 5th commissioner.
All set? Okay. Okay, let's get moving here. Article 1 is to choose 2 commissioners for a 3-year term of office. A written ballot is required. Again, on that sheet of paper, take it to the back. And Ken, would you like to speak to this?
The purpose of this article is to allow you to vote for your choice of candidate for office. If you like to vote for someone whose name is not on the ballot, simply write in the candidate's name of your choice in the space provided on the ballot.
Thank you. Sorry. Now let's move on to Article 2. Article 2. To see if the Merrimack Village District will vote to change the office of District Treasurer from an elected position to an appointed position in accordance with RSA 41:26-E. Such appointment shall be made in accordance with RSA 669:17-D by the Board of Commissioners. The appointment shall be made in writing and shall include the compensation to be paid. Should this article pass, Article 3 will be null and void. Simple majority vote required. Recommended by the Board of Commissioners, 3-0-0. Reviewed by the Department of Revenue Administration. And Wolf, would you like to comment?
The purpose of this article is to allow the Merrimack Village District Board of Commissioners to interview and appoint a qualified candidate for the position of treasurer. The treasurer is responsible for the custody, deposit, and disbursement of municipal funds, excluding trust funds. The treasurer submits books, vouchers, and statements to the Board of Commissioners and to the auditors when requested.
Great. Now we move on to the voting phase. All those in favor of Article 2, will you please hold up your blue card? Thank you. Put them down. All those opposed? The motion passes. So, because Article 2 has passed, Article 3 is moot, which means please do not vote for a treasurer. At this point, if folks would like to start voting, that's fine. Nothing we do from here on in will be an impact on that. So, skipping number 3, moving on to number 4. Article 4, to see if the Merrimack Village District will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $4,472,263 for general municipal operations for the 2021 through 2022 fiscal year, with said sum to come from water-related charges. This article does not include appropriations contained in special or individual articles addressed separately. Majority vote is required. Recommended by the Board of Commissioners, 3-0-0. Reviewed by the Department of Revenue Administration. John, would you like to comment?
Thanks, Mark. This is the operating budget warrant article. This article funds the operation of the district for the year beginning July 1, 2021, and ending on June 30, 2022, for all departments, which include administration, distribution, treatment, debt service, and insurance benefits.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion? Thank you. All those opposed? Thank you. The motion passes. Article 5. Shall the Merrimack Village District vote to establish a contingency fund pursuant with RSA 52:4-A by raising and appropriating the amount of $20,000 to meet the cost of unanticipated expenses that arise during the fiscal year 2021 through 2022, with the said funds to come from water fees. Majority vote required. Recommended by the Board of Commissioners, 3-0-0. Reviewed by the Department of Revenue Administration. Paul, would you like to elaborate?
Thank you. RSA 52:4-A states, every village district annually by an article in the warrant may establish a contingency fund to meet the cost of unanticipated expenses that may arise during the year. Such fund shall not exceed 1% of the amount appropriated exclusive of capital expenditures and amortization of debt by such village district during the preceding year. A detailed report of all expenditures from the contingency fund shall be made annually by the Commissioners and published with the report.
Thank you. And as a reminder, if there's any amendments, statements, or comments, or questions, please start making your way there. Haven't seen any movement yet, so there we go. So, Article 5. All those in favor of the motion, blue cards, please. All those opposed? The motion passes. Article 6. Shall the Merrimack Village District vote to establish a non-capital reserve fund under the provisions of RSA 35:1-C for the purpose of emergency water and/or operations and management of the GAC treatment facilities, and raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 to be placed into the fund. This sum will come from the unassigned fund balance. Further, to appoint the Board of Commissioners as agents to expend from this non-capital reserve fund. A majority vote is required. This is recommended by the Board of Commissioners 3-0-0, and it was reviewed by the Department of Revenue Administration. Paul.
Thank you. The purpose of this article is to use a portion of the unassigned fund balance to be set aside for future use in the district's non-capital reserve fund. Should the need for emergency water and/or unanticipated operations and maintenance of the GAC treatment facilities arise in future years, the Board of Commissioners would have these funds available for such purposes.
Thank you.
Good evening. How you doing? Peter Albert, 12 Roberta Drive. Regarding this article, I see that it refers to the GAC treatment facilities. Is this article specifically in reference to the PFOAs in our water system now and addressing that and any future problems we may have in the filtration of it?
Who would like to take that? Don?
Yeah, I'll take that. In a short answer, yes, and it also includes the purchase of water from Pennachuck, an auxiliary for emergency purposes. So it's kind of both of those rolled in together in the same article, basically.
It just seemed a coincidence. That way, this should all of a sudden occur, and I agree with this article. It just irritates me the fact that this gift from St. Gobain is going to keep giving, and we're going to keep paying for it. And I hope at some point the commissioners consider going back to St. Gobain and letting them know about this expense, this ongoing expense, and maybe you'll get lucky and they'll pony up some more money. I doubt it, but thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And any other comments while we're waiting for the cleanup? Let's move ahead and vote. So for Article 6, all those in favor, please put up blue. All those opposed? Thank you. The article passes. Moving on to Article 7. Shall the Merrimack Village District vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $248,162 under the provisions of RSA 35:1, Sections 1 and 2, to add to the district's, quote, System Development Capital Reserve Fund for the future system expansion and improvement of the existing system. This sum to come from the financial year 2019 through 2020 unassigned fund balance. These are the system development charges collected during the 2019-2020 budget year. Majority vote is required. Recommended by the Board of Commissioners 3-0-0. Reviewed by the Department of Revenue Administration. And Don, would you like to elaborate?
Yes, thanks, Mark. The MVD Board of Commissioners adopted a System Development Charge, SDC, on August 19, 2008. This charge is applied to new customers and those existing customers who increase their water service demand beyond 20% of their current or prior use. The charge can best be described as a buy-in fee to achieve an equal equity position with the existing customers. This one-time payment will cover their share of the value of the existing infrastructure. Fire service entrances are not subject to the SDC. The System Development Charge Use of Funds, Policy 08-02-B, was approved by the Board of Commissioners on October 27, 2008.
Thank you. Any amendments, comments, discussion? Let's move on to the voting phase then. All those in favor of Article 7, please raise the blue. All those opposed? Thank you. The motion passes. Last one, Article 8. Shall the Merrimack Village District vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $100,000 under provisions of RSA 35:1, Sections 1 and 2, to add to the district's quote, equipment and facilities capital reserve fund for the associated costs with existing storage, transmission, and production of water. This sum will come from the unassigned fund balance. Majority vote is required. Recommended by the Board of Commissioners, 3-0-0. Reviewed by the Department of Revenue Administration. Wolf?
The purpose of this article is to use a portion of the revenue surplus to be set aside for future use in the district's equipment and facilities capital reserve fund. Should an emergency arise in future years for which there was no appropriation, or should there be the need for an unforeseen special piece of machinery in a pump station, for example, the Board of Commissioners would have these funds available for such purposes. This fund was established by the March 26, 1996 annual meeting.
Thank you. Any comments, discussion, or amendments from the floor? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 8, you know what to do. Thank you. All those opposed? Thank you. The motion, or the article, passes. So we have gone through all the articles. Is there any other business that needs discussing?
Not that I'm aware of, Mark.
Fantastic. So at this point, business is completed, but we need to wait until 9:10 in order to count the ballots. So at this point, we're doing nothing until 9:10. Please go back and deposit your votes if you haven't done that already. And we'll be back here at 9:10. Thank you. Okay. Welcome back. It is 9:18. We've completed all the counting of the votes, and the results are Donald Preventure, total of 53 votes, is a winner, and a Wolf Anchon is 51 winner. No other votes for anyone else. Congratulations to our new commissioners. And I would like to thank Merrimack TV and all the other volunteers that we had, as well as the commissioners and all the other staff that waited to the very end here. Thank you. And at this point, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome very much. Motion, second. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.